I want you to picture this. You are on a business trip on the coastal regions of Kenya, to be specific Mombasa, to pass the weekend and experience the full coastal vibe. You decide to enjoy a night out at VIP Club Volume in Shanzu. At the bar, one lady, as she is passing by your table, sedatively catches your attention. And so, like any other man, you ask her to join you. You two enjoy the drinks until it's around 4 AM when the lady, who identified herself as Wambo, says she is tired and she wants to go and rest. And so you and Wambo leave the club. You two board a cab to Sevi Apartments where you have reserved a suite. On getting to the room, you both take a shower, and from the looks of it, you will be shaking the sheets that night. However, before getting started, she offers a cold, tasty juice, and so, because you are getting busy tonight, you decide, why not? The next thing you remember is you waking up to a knock at the door, and the sun is out. Turns out it's the apartment steward, and time, it's the next day afternoon. Your mobile phones, laptop, ATM cards are missing, and Wambo is nowhere to be seen.
Jesus is Lord!
And to put the final nail on the coffin, Wambo transferred more than $500,000 from your bank account.
I am in pain. I am in severe pain. I can't turn this neck anymore. If anything happens to me, this Inspector General of Police to be held accountable.
You have no recollection of what happened after you drank the juice. This is what happened to an undisclosed man, and the woman was never caught. Now let's shift gear to another story. A bus driver was ferrying passengers from Kisumu to Nairobi, which is a 6-hour journey. So it's expected along the way the passengers will fall asleep. As they were approaching Nairobi, something caught the driver's eye. Through his rear mirror, all the passengers were asleep and snoring unusually loud. However, 2 passengers were awake and moving around. His danger instincts were alarmed and he knew he had to do something. The driver then changed the course of their journey and decided to drive into the nearest police station. Attempts by the 2 thugs to jump from the fast moving bus turned futile after the beast stormed into the police station at a high speed, prompting police officers on sentry duties to dash down for a cover.
We got a hit on Hassan.
We can't take him in Iran.
And take positions in case of any eventuality. With no tricks left up their sleeves, the men decided to have a taste of their own medicine. The 2 men ingested the substance in an aim to evade arrest. The officers then stormed in the bus only to find out the passengers were dragged and their belongings missing. The police found 4 suspects who had stolen the belongings: Stephen Odero, Benson Odero, Joshua Orengo, and Harrison Nyamo. In a great twist to end this whole story, as the police officer were booking them, the drugs the suspects had ingested a mere minute before started to kick in, and suddenly they started becoming drowsy, incoherent, and very drunk.
When you catch me like a rat on the highway, stop wasting your time, stop wasting a good time, because that is where you go wrong.
The law enforcers were forced to rush them into a nearby hospital for medical examination. A friend of mine, let's call him Alan, picked a girl and took him to his house. The girl offered to cook for him. Who could turn that offer down? While cooking, the girl added mchele to the food. Of course, Alan passed out after eating the food and she stole everything except the food. Alan woke up 2 days later to find himself in an empty room. In the midst of shock, hunger, confusion, Alan decided to munch on the food before heading to the police station, and as you guessed it, he passed out again for 2 days.
Damn!
What the hell happened here?
Four years ago, I got a call from a security guard that my friend, let's call him Phil, has checked in with 4 women and that he had a feeling that the women were not up to any good. So I advised the guard to stay alert and keep me updated in case of anything. 2 hours later, the guard raised the alarm that Phil's house was being robbed by the 4 women. They had even called a pickup. What followed was a thorough thrashing.
Officers, I've committed an offense. Please.
Phil was hospitalized for 3 days. However, not all stories turn out good. There are incidents where the drugs can make a man go mad, and in others, the drug may prove to be fatal.
Nikienda nikichukuana na mwanaume ananunua pombe, tunakunywa, dakika ya mwisho anamwekea mchele.
It's 14th April 2016 and John Mbogwa is turning 30. That night, John hit the club in Thika, Nairobi with one thing in mind.
Party after party, yeah. Party after party, yeah. Party after party, after party after party.
2 women joined John during the party. However, after taking a few sips, John was rushed to the hospital.
911, what's your emergency?
He was pronounced dead. Into the investigation, the police find out that the 2 women who joined Mbogwa during the party were in possession of a suspicious substance. A post-mortem examination on Mbogwa found a strange stinking compound in his stomach, a clear indication that John's drink was spiked. 2 months later, Hannah Magiri, aged 20, was at a nightclub in Ruaka, Nairobi, when her drink was spiked. The drug left her unconscious, and just like John, Hannah never woke up. It's 16th May 2022 and Kenyan police had a field day. It's 2 p.m. A man driving in Honda CR-V drops off a female passenger before proceeding with his journey. However, a few minutes ahead, there's a car blocking his way. A lone man is passing by. In a flash, the lone man takes out his gun and shoots the man in Honda CR-V 6 times before boarding the getaway cab and fleeing the spot. The killings were captured in a CCTV footage.
Notice this man in a cap and a coat. Just a pedestrian, you'd assume. Then he approaches this Honda CR-V and pulls out what appears to be a pistol and immediately opens fire. Notice how frantically this woman, who was across the road walking, runs for dear life. When the man on a mission finishes his job, he runs towards this vehicle that had blocked the road. It drives off, and just like that, in a matter of 45 seconds, the man identified as Samuel Mugota is dead.
Inside the deceased car, the man had money in different currencies, 7 different ID cards, 6 wallets, phones, and laptops. This leaves us with one key question. What was the man's job? According to his wife of 16 years, my husband was a former police and a real estate agent, while his brother said he was an IT personnel. Although a real estate agent job could explain money in different currencies and IT personnel could explain the many phones and laptops, neither explains the 7 different identity cards. To add more mystery to the case, there were no known records of him ever in the police service. To make the puzzle even more unsolvable, the man had predicted his own death. According to his brother Timothy Wachira, 3 weeks ago he called and told me that his life had hit a dead end. He did not reveal what was troubling him. I insisted that we discuss the issue on the phone and not wait for a physical meeting. He said no, and that is the last thing I heard from him. Truecaller identified him as Inspector Morris Kiambu. The man was a ghost. In fact, according to his wife, Samuel had simple but strict rules. From the word go, he set the rules that I should never call him when he was away from home. When I need you, I will call you. 3 owners out of the 7 ID cards that were in the possession of the man came out and explained how they were drugged by women and their bank accounts were transferred money.
She asked me to buy a vest from her. I picked one that I believed would fit me and went to the washrooms to try it on. I thereafter returned and gave her money. The lady then asked if she could join us. Later, she asked if she could speak with me privately. I don't know what happened thereafter.
He later woke up only to find his bank account raided and 370,000 shillings missing.
To add salt on the wound, the women went on to take loans from as many mobile lending applications as possible. So who is the man? The deceased was later identified as Mugo Mugota, and he was not your normal man. According to an officer's statement, the man headed a big syndicate that mostly involved women who would be used to spike drinks before stealing from the customers. DCI released 12 photos of Mchele women who were part of his gang. In one day, he was making over 1 million Kenya shillings from administering Mchele to unsuspecting men. The man left no trail of his transactions by operating over 300 registered bank accounts. How he got 300 registered bank accounts is a whole different story. One morning, he approached over 100 youths in Embu posing as a government employee who was recruiting job seekers to work as casuals at Lamu Port and Mamau Road constructions. After buying them a meal, he told the clueless job seekers that they all needed new SIM cards and 3 bank accounts, each from the lending banks. He helped them register their accounts and paid for their ATM cards. Later, he came back and asked them to register for mobile banking and use 1212 as the PIN number before collecting all the SIM cards, which he promised to deliver to the National Treasury, from where their salaries would be processed once they went to Lamu. The happy youths complied, and as he left, he asked them to play it low, and just like that, the man turned into a magician and disappeared. So who wanted him dead? Investigations showed that the firearm used was stolen from an intoxicated officer at a popular joint in Mombasa almost 2 years ago. The registration number of the getaway car was fake. The prime suspect to the case is his assumed partner in crime, Dennis Karani Gashoki. Let's see why Dennis fits the profile. DCI believed that Dennis and Samuel were both the leaders of the Mchele trade, believed their fallout was over the sharing proceeds from the Mchele business. Hours after Samuel's murder, Dennis went into hiding. Forensic cyber detectives picked Dennis' last signal inside a burnt forest. DCI suspected that he was in the possession of a firearm that was snatched from a stupefied police officer at a popular joint in Mombasa in November 2020. Some of the Mchele women employees were arrested. However, Dennis was later cleared the murder charges due to lack of evidence.
What has discharged Dennis Karani Gashoki, the man accused of murdering businessman Samuel Mugota?
With Dennis out of the picture, we are left to look at Miguna's way for direction. In a tweet by Dr. Miguna, why did a number of DCI murder squad kill Samuel in Mirema, Nairobi? So was it the police? Was it the gang members? For now, the murder remains unsolved. Mchele drugs, in simple terms, are sleeping pills. The drugs tend to depress the central nervous system.
This is the alarming end to Millie's first ever night out, distressed and disorientated after she says she was drugged.
However, unlike drugs like Ambien or Domicam, which need to be taken orally for them to be absorbed in the body, scopolamine or the devil's breath can be absorbed into the body by just breathing it in.
Dementia doesn't need to carry a gun or a knife because he's packing something even more deadly, a fistful of devil's breath, a chemical compound dubbed the world's scariest drug by many.
When doing this research, I came across this tweet. Hack, carry charcoal powder or activated charcoal when going to drink. If you suspect you have been riced, mix with water and drink it. The charcoal will absorb the poison. To get the answer, we will have to travel back in time. In the early 1800s, activated charcoal was used as an emergency anti-poisoning treatment. As times changed, activated charcoal was used to treat overdoses from prescription drugs like aspirin and sedatives, which are mchele. Activated charcoal not only stops a drug from being absorbed, but also it helps the body eliminate already absorbed drug more quickly.